back again, and it's Responding to Life. My name is Victoria Kaka.
ALVIN Buru is my name.
And I'm yours faithfully, Dennis Moredi.
And we're here with part 2 of The Modern Mature Man. Trust me, these pointers are so hot that we really need to cut these things into parts. So we're just going to dive right into it. Point number 3, an understanding and patient man. Now this one might be a bit
Personal.
This might turn very personal. So, in terms of understanding, it's mainly relationship-wise. Let's just go there. And patience and understanding. We're just gonna go to straight where that problem usually is. And I think I'm gonna let you all talk about why it's so hard for men to be patient and understanding towards their women. I really need to hear this from you guys.
Okay, let me give out my own opinion in regard to this. Yeah, one of the main reasons as to why men tend to lack patience and understanding is their ego. Our ego will kill us for sure. It's happening, so it's better just speak about it. You know, at times. We tend to want to be the dominant people. We want to be the superior people. And some men tend to look down upon their women and view them as inferior. It's true. And I'll say this point blank, yeah? And that's why, at times, some men, when they're questioned by their women, either they'll become abusive or they will just flip out on them. Abusive in that they'll beat you up for either asking a question or responding to what they said and they didn't want you to respond. Or they tend to hurl insults towards you. One is ego. Secondly, one's personal upbringing. I feel like this can also be a factor as to why some men tend to lack patience and understanding. And I want to blame you for this, by the way, because probably you were too young to understand what was really going on. But that aspect of your father, for example, beating up your mother, once you saw that, you tend to believe that you are supposed to be the dominant person in this world.
True. Yeah,
and it sort of brings this sort of actually this point sort of relates to what I just mentioned earlier, that you want to be dominant. If your wife is not listening to you, you beat her up. If your partner is not doing this for you, you force it to be done. Understand? And this is where at some point you might find such cases of, sorry to get a bit deep into this, but this is how some cases of rape actually occur. Because a guy believes that I'm supposed to get anything I want any given time. And we tend not to think about what other people are actually thinking about or what situation they're actually going through. And that's how you might actually find some of these rape cases happening.
Not patient with a woman's decision.
Yeah. Or what other points did I have in regard to this? When a woman she's bringing you up in a good way, you know, like, I picked you up from here, I want us to go here. You might feel as if your self-esteem or your ego is just being looked down upon.
But why should it be that she picked him up from here she wants? Well, I think that can be phrased better.
In what way?
Like, because I know this is a problem because some men actually feel inferior when you say it like that. It hurts their ego. Because once a man hears, I took you from here and now we're going here.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah,
it's a problem.
So let me
it can be phrased better.
Let me rephrase it. Let's say you're in a relationship, okay? And let's say you're staying in probably a one-bedroom apartment or two-bedroom apartment, and probably you don't have some necessities. Not that you lack the money.
Let's
you do have.
Bed-sitter.
Let me talk about your one-bedroom apartment. Okay, let's say you're staying alone and you're in a relationship, and your girlfriend visits you every weekend, or particular weekends, depending on your schedules and everything. Let's say, for example, you don't have a microwave. Okay, and it's not that you don't have the money for a microwave, but let's say you're the kind of guy who every weekend either you buy a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of vodka or gin, or on particular weekends you go home with your boys. You know, you go to a club, spend a certain amount of cash, and you go back home. You get, and your girlfriend will just come and tell you, for example, I have no problem with you going out or you doing all these things with your boys, yeah. But instead of you buying this for this particular weekend, how about this money you just set it aside to get this? You understand? And for some men, it works out. And I personally feel that's how some men, some successful men, who talk about their own love story, they'll tell you that, fine, I had this, but I didn't know how to use this until my partner came and actually showed me how to do it. And I've seen this personally with some of my friends who are dating. Like, the guy had this amount of cash, spent it on this, but the women just brought some sort of sense to them. Understand? And it actually works out for some men, but for some other men, they'll be like, hey, this is my house, my rules, my whiskey, my boys, you know. And I feel like I've exhausted so much. But those are my three main pointers to this.
A patient understanding. What do you think?
Actually, my colleague here said all the points, but I'd like to add on some few points of which of an understanding and a patient man. The reason why most men lack those two main reasons is because, first of all, most men lack knowledge. Is that one thing that men lack knowledge? And most men tend to think that out of their own understanding, they can make any decision, and like a lady can't tell him nothing. So most men tend to think that they are the ones who should speak, and the lady should subordinate and listen. So I think that the main reason about men lacking those two main reasons is lack of knowledge, first of all. The second one is they feel like men like to be pushed. Men, in order for a man to reach where he wants to be, because he needs to be pushed, because if he starts relying on his own understanding and just doing everything according to how he understands it, and thinks that he needs to be, he feels like, if I do this and the lady tells me this, as in I'm the head. So there's no way, there can never be a point whereby the neck will come on top of the head. So they feel like they have the control of everything, and nobody or nothing can ever change their mind.
But you see now, what I usually tell most ladies is that the neck is very, very powerful. If this head is supposed to turn like this, you cannot turn, the head cannot turn without its neck. And sometimes men need to understand how powerful a woman actually is. To have a woman, we were created to be the helpers, the support system, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you see, the hand is the arm is supporting for the hand and for the body and so on. The legs are supporters not because the torso is more powerful than the legs, no. But here, if the head is gonna move, trust me, it cannot move or turn without the neck. And sometimes being the neck, it's not because somebody is inferior or whatnot. And I feel like so many people put so much importance to the head, but in essence, this is where even the nerves to the body go through. This is where everything is connected. Every single thing. When this is off, that's it. So, but to my understanding, a patient and an understanding man, to me, it's sometimes I'll take this from even a woman's perspective. Sometimes it's actually women who make it hard for men to be patient and understanding. Sometimes. However, the two, I'm gonna acknowledge it, to be honest, because I have also made it very, very difficult sometimes, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not perfect. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes we make it hard for men to be patient and understanding. However, I am not gonna just disapprove the fact that some men can really be hard-headed because of this the way they set themselves up. Because you think you're better or you're higher or whatever, it ain't right. It really isn't right. And I think if we all can get to a point of being understanding towards each other, that's one. Because sometimes we also can not be understanding and patient, especially when a woman wants to get married. Hey,
Pressure.
hey. But it's very, very essential. And for me, it's very, very attractive when a man is patient and understanding. Like, okay, babe, you can't do this. Okay, fine, let's do this other way. Or you have this idea. I had a friend once who really was not understand. Like, for him, it was just his way or the highway. And to me, that was just not gonna work out, to be honest. And there's this, I gave an idea based on my expertise, like my actual expertise. And for them, they saw it as if I'm trying to be better than them. I'm trying to be better than them, actually. But no, you came for advice on an area that I am well knowledgeable in. But then you don't want my advice again because you feel like I'm trying to be smarter than you. Sometimes and then we go back to the ego. So the next point I have is a wise man. And a wise man in terms of a man who knows when to speak and when not to speak. What do you think? Can I actually speak first?
Yeah.
A wise man. We're talking about a wise man, and and this one I'm more emphasizing on when a man knows when to speak and when not to speak, when he knows when to act and when not to act. For me personally, I feel like it takes wisdom, even for women. I remember I did this in the Modern Mature Lady, I think, or the Great Woman series actually, and it takes a wise person to know when to quit and when not to, and when to speak and when not to. You see, a lot of men usually, again, going back to the whole idea of ego and proving who they are, they tend to act before they think, speak before they run down everything. And because someone has this idea of a woman, whenever a woman is speaking, she's nagging, you tend to jump ahead of her because you want to shut her down before even exercising wisdom to understand what is she trying to tell me. And I feel like that causes a lot of friction in a lot of homes, because even when your mom is speaking, you just feel like, oh, she's just a woman, she's nagging. And it really causes a lot of friction because you don't understand where somebody's coming from. And to me, that's lack of wisdom, or even when to act and how to act. Let's even go to the cases of cheating. Like, that's action without wisdom. Because for some, you realize they regret after the action. They regret it, and then that's when it hits them. The wisdom hits them all of a sudden. And they're like, okay, listen, this was actually not okay. It was a mistake. Most men actually say that their actions were a mistake. And I feel like, how is a man supposed to exercise wisdom? How will you guys exercise wisdom so that you do not make these mistakes and you do not make your home a fracas?
Firstly, I think it's simple, but not simple at the same time. Have a listening ear and tend to be open-minded as well. Because at times at times when you have an issue with your partner and It might be something so simple.
Mm.
So simple. Probably you just dropped a sock somewhere in the house. Or probably you didn't flush the toilet. Or probably you squeezed the toothpaste tube from the middle instead of squeezing it down from below.
Yeah.
Such simple things. And you might make it look so huge simply because you didn't listen. Simply because you didn't take time to actually think about the situation at hand. Okay? And this is where some relationships usually die. Just like that. Because probably you overreact when things are said, or you overreact when you have an argument. Understand? So just have a listening ear and be open-minded. As much as, yes, your opinion also matters. That's one thing women need to understand.
All opinions
as much as you're
matter.
coming to me with your opinions,
All
my opinion
opinions
also
matter.
matters.
All
Whether
opinions
it's
matter.
big or small, or whether it does not make sense, to me, it does.
All opinions matter.
All opinions matter. So, yeah, be open, have a listening ear, make your opinion count, but in the right way, yeah? In the right way. But if you're having an argument with your partner, I'd prefer, take a bit of time off, okay? If you feel like you're very temperamental, take a bit of time off. It can even be like 2 or 3 hours, even a day, tops, then come back. This is where we were. Okay, what made you do this? What made you say this? Why are we here? Okay, this is the situation we're in. What's the solution? Don't take so much time focusing on the negative. Probably this negative will bring in like 5 positives to your relationship. And once that argument is done, then forget about it. Don't have another argument later on. Let me use an example. Later today, we're arguing about how I squeeze the toothpaste tube from the middle instead of beneath. Yeah, fine. We've talked about this thing. Tomorrow we're good. The day after tomorrow, we talk about how I left
the toilet seat up.
Such simple things. And I bring up that previous argument again. It doesn't make sense. Once you have buried that particular issue, then bury it for good. Don't bring it up again. So yeah, be patient. Don't be patient. Yeah, be patient. Be wise. Have a listening ear and be open-minded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm gonna go back to one of the last point is actually a forgiving man. So continue.
I think it matters about how you bring your problems and your solutions on the table. It doesn't matter how big or how small the situation is, but according to how you listen, how you good in listening, and how do you take things. Actually, most men tend to let the emotions and not think. They let the emotion. They rely mostly on the emotions. So basically, most men tend to think that if I do this, I'm right. So not thinking about the consequences that will follow if I decide on doing this. So what I think is, out of experience, I think that being a good listener actually is the main key to being wise and to be able to approach and find solutions towards any problem. Yeah, and I'll say that communication is key, because if how do I let my emotion control me if we're having a conversation or trying to find a solution to a problem? So basically, because my partner may be aggressive towards any situation, and I, as the man, what example am I setting? If I react towards her correcting me or me correcting her, we'll basically find the solution, or will it bring more friction? Yeah, so I think that being a good listener is the main key, and communication. Because if you don't sit down after an argument or try and have a communication and try to find a solution, if you don't bring both ideas together and you have a solution, because most men tend to think that my opinion will have the solution to their problem. So we should also try and listen to the ladies and see if our opinion, if we combine my opinion with hers, if there will be any change.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
The last point actually is a forgiving man, and I think that we got into it a bit when we were talking about the wise man. So I think this is one of the things that really hits to me personally. So we're just gonna start before I give my thoughts in shorts and my opinion on it. So
Being a forgiving man. One thing we need to realize is the fact that no one, and absolutely no one, is perfect unless Jesus is your twin, which will never happen.
Even a twin, it can be the same.
No one is perfect. Today we make blunders every single day to the point where we know we've made a blunder, and sometimes we might be offending someone and we don't know. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. But I'll still relate to what I said earlier. Be open-minded. Okay? Being a forgiving man is very essential with any relationship you may have. Be it a relationship with your family, or your workmates, or colleagues, or even your partner. Forgive and forget. Fine. It's very hard to forget. Very hard.
But it's not impossible.
But it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's very I like being open-minded. I should stop using that word all the time. Anyway, I like viewing things on both sides of the coin. The good side and the bad. Okay? People say forgive and forget. Hey, but it's not easy. It's not
forgive.
It's not forgive.
Yes.
It depends on how deep you actually hurt someone.
Yeah.
So just be open-minded. Fine. I'm supposed to forgive and forget. Okay. Then I will try my best to forgive. Then I will try my best
to forget. It's a process.
Okay. Yeah, it's not easy. So if your partner wrongs you once, twice, probably your partner cheated on you. Some people take this thing differently. There's some guys who will end the relationship. There's some guys who will, take a step back and just think about it. Then some men actually go back. Some men just decide to forget about it. And it's okay. We choose to respect your decision. It's totally fine. Probably there's some deal breakers you can't deal with in the office, in your relationship, in your marriage, and we totally respect your decision, But this also depends on how the offender comes back to the person who has been offended.
True. Very true.
Because if someone legit hurt you very badly and they haven't come back to you, you can decide to forgive and forget. But don't be naive as well. Okay? And if the person who offended you has come with a clean heart, like, hey, for example, babe, I actually messed up. I did this, and I know you totally hate it, but I'm so sorry, and this won't happen again. Fine. Kudos to you. But don't do it again. Don't repeat it. Okay, methali in Kiswahili. Kosa sio kosa, lakini
kosa ni kurudia.
Ukirudia kosa ni kosa.
Yeah.
If you repeat that particular offense, which you know perfectly well, is going to hurt your significant other, or going to hurt your family member or your colleague at work. If you repeat it again, I personally feel you have the problem.
Yeah.
Not them. Okay? So
very much, yes.
Just forgive and forget. Because it is what it is.
It is
what it is.
According to me, I think a forgiving man is, some people forgiving looks, it's like a burden to them. So I think that the main thing that one should do when you feel like this somebody has really hurt you, the main thing is like, if you feel, according to the way you know that person, you might like approach him or her immediately, or you might take time. But I preferred approaching the person immediately, because in order to move on, because the more you carry, like the more you carry the grudges, the more you carry grudges, is the more you are bringing diseases like depression. So the more you open up, the more you you let it go, and you release every burden that you have and every grudge.
Yeah, like frozen. Let it go, let it go.
I am selling this one. Like, y'all can write your bids down there. Anywho. But I really honestly feel like forgiving, I think I learned how easy it is to forgive after I understood that forgiving is more for me than it is for the other person. And I feel like this is something that I should give even to most men, because like I said, some people just expect a lot of nagging, a lot of trouble from the significant others, even from their mothers, their sisters, like generally when they look at women, it's just trouble, trouble, trouble. And of course, what you expect is what you're gonna get. I think changing the mindset a bit in terms of what you expect will help you also become more forgiving towards the individuals around you, not even only the women around you, but even there are those friends where you just expect wahala from them. Um, but that's a whole different conversation in terms of expectations. But in terms of forgiveness, it does more good to you than it does to the other person. And just to jump off their points in terms of waiting for somebody to apologize and so on and so forth, I learned that I don't need nobody to apologize to me for me to forgive. If I love you, then I believe in loving unconditionally, loving patiently, loving kindly, loving without any without holding anything back. And with love also, love overcomes everything. Now I don't mean that you should be naive to think that, okay, this person has cheated on me 20 times, I can still go back, I can still forgive, I can still love them. Sometimes love also needs you to love from afar. Yes, you did this, you did that, you whatever, whatever. I forgive you. I love you, but I keep you at arm's length. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, but it means that you're letting it go and forgiving, especially for people who are in marriages or in long term relationships, people who are staying together, people who have built bonds together, people who have kids together. It is very hard to live with someone if you're not the forgiving type, especially in this corona time where you're seeing somebody 24/7. Some people are gonna end up in divorce. Some others are gonna end up building stronger bonds. Some others are just gonna end up just I cannot deal with this simply because they don't know how to deal with the person. You imagine being with someone, one person, and this is where also love comes in very high effect. Love and forgiveness usually goes hand in hand. If you're willing to spend the rest of the 90 years together with somebody, you definitely have to be forgiving. You definitely have to teach yourself, okay, no, let me calm down, let me let it go. And sometimes people even offend you without knowing that they're offending you, and you're there keeping a grudge. Who is it hurting? It's hurting you more than it's hurting them. It's hurting you. You're carrying it about, and you're moving around mad with your woman, yet she doesn't even understand what she's done, or she doesn't even know that she's wronged you, because we're all different. So for me, a forgiving man is very, very attractive as well, from a woman's perspective, where we can work things out. We can help each other go about things and be able to understand each other. So we talked about the patient man, the patient and understanding man. We talked about the loving man, the confident man. We talked about the protector. We talked about the forgiving man. And I hope these different type of men keep you, or rather make you the kind of man that you desire to be. I hope you've also learned a lot, both from men and as a woman as well. And we will be seeing you in probably another video, maybe. And we will be sharing our contact details down in the description box if they want to be on the line over here. And we actually really enjoyed this video. So what are your parting shots? What are your parting shots?
So basically, I would like to say that if you have taken note of everything that have been mentioned by my colleagues, I think that by then you have at least at the back of your mind what kind of ideal man you want, if that is you're single, and you have the list, and most of all, pray. Yeah.
Mine is very simple. I'll actually align what he said and what I'm about to say. One, depending on your religion, keep God first, okay, in all that you do. Secondly, let's live life. Let's live life.
Hey!
Let's live life responsibly. Where I come from, we have a problem with the errors and the errors. Okay? Yeah, keep God first. Live life responsibly. And whatever we say, but we're not perfect.
Definitely.
We just choose to just view life in a different perspective to help those people, help people generally in whatever situation they may be battling on a daily basis.
Responding to life.
That's why we are responding to life.
Exactly.
Okay? Yes.
So,
that's my parting shot.
My parting shot is, ladies, if you are looking for a man, please kindly have these things at least in your list. And it's very, very important to make a list. Trust me. Very, very important to know what you want and to figure out and to stick by those things that you want, actually. And I think these 5 pointers can help you at least start going through and so on and so forth. For women out there who are mothers to sons, I would love us to also teach our sons how to be modern, mature men, so that no matter what they've gone through, we mentioned in the beginning, some have really seen their dads do some messed up things, some have seen their uncles do some messed up things to the women in their life, and we don't want to raise such sons. We want to raise proper men who will be able to make the world a better place in the next generation. For a man out there, yo, my guys, you know, some of these things actually are very, very interesting, and some of us ladies are actually looking for these things, are actually looking for these things in the men that we want and the men that we need. Some of us are very, very prayerful, and we have lists that are accounted to the type of men that we want. So I hope and pray that this will also put you in a position to also become a better you, as you also are seeking that woman of your dreams. And also have your list. I did a great woman series, and we're gonna do a modern mature lady series as well. So have your list, make your list, and always put God first. That's his main point. Put God first in everything that you do. Pray about the man that you are. Pray about the woman that you want to be with. Pray about the people in your life, because you're not only being a better man for your woman, you're also being a better man for your daughters, your sons, a better man for your mom, for your siblings, a better man for everybody who's around you. So with that said, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any of our videos. Also, do not forget to follow us on our blog, www.respondingtolife.org, so that you do not miss out on any of our blog posts. Also, follow us on our social media accounts so that you don't miss out on our daily posts. And keep safe during this corona period. I repeat, wash your hands, sanitize, maintain social distancing, guys. Social distancing.
Use a mask as well.
Use a mask. It's very, very important. The chances of being contaminated, or rather infected, being infected while we both have masks is very little to no infection at all. So you're doing me a favor by putting on your mask. I'm doing you a favor by putting on my mask, and together we keep each other safe. Be safe, and we hope to see you in the next video. So from us, with love, my name is Victoria Nkatha.
Alvin Buru is my name.
And I'm Dennis Moredi.
And this is Responding to Life. Bye.
Life.